Welcome to another Enshrouded video. This account is early game. I'm going to show you 3 ways that you never run out of these little guys, metal scraps. These can be really easy to obtain if you know where to get them. The first place we're going to go is actually the very start of the game, the Cinder Vault. This is probably the most boring way of doing it, but it is totally guaranteed. And if you've seen this before, I'm going to show you a way that you can do it that is probably a bit more time efficient. So in the Cinder Vault, you go back behind here through this door, and in this room you will see all of these metal containers that you actually arrived in. There is loads and loads of these. These can actually be broken down into metal scraps. It takes a little while, and in this case I'm using the scrappy pickaxe that you get from the blacksmith. This way of doing it takes about 19 or 20 hits, and as you can see, it actually breaks your pickaxe quite quickly, but I'll show you how to fix that in a minute. So 19 or 20 hits and it will break, and each one of these will give you 3 scrap. As I said, this is with the scrappy pickaxe that you can craft at the blacksmith. If you don't have the blacksmith yet, then you can get the blacksmith just north of Rookmore, which we're going to go to in a minute. But you can also just use the normal pickaxe. It just takes a little bit longer, as you can see here. I don't know how many hits that was, but it's pretty boring. This is probably the most annoying way of doing it, but you can eat honey to improve your life just a little bit by increasing your stamina regen. But you can also use these bombs to break them. I'm going to show you the best way of doing that now. So as you can see, the bomb does 50 damage to these things. It's quite an expensive way of doing it, but if you're feeling lazy, like I sometimes am, you want to hit just in the middle on this pillar, because what it does is it splashes damage over both of them. So I throw 2 bombs, and then you can just finish it off with a pickaxe. It's about 7 hits on each one. That's probably the quickest way of doing it without wasting a 3rd bomb on these guys. Using the bombs is obviously a really expensive way of doing it, but if you need a couple of scraps in a pinch really fast, then this is probably the quickest way of doing it. Now you'll notice doing that actually broke the pickaxes pretty quickly, but if you're new to the game there, you might not know that all you need to do is teleport back to your house and go over to the craft bench. Just opening it will repair all your stuff for free. Nice and easy. The second way of getting these, we're going to go back to the Cinder Vault and we're going to head north to a place called Rookmore. If you haven't got it on the map already, then you just head northwest past the Long Keep, and let's just head there now. And also, while we're traveling, if you are into this game and you want more tips and more things that I'm finding, then obviously hit the subscribe button. This is a pretty good game. I'm enjoying it so far. I've got loads of different YouTube channels, but I think I might make a dedicated one just for this one. So if you're into that, then hit the subscribe button. Be my first subscribers. But anyway, we're going to head through the Long Keep, and we're just going to keep going northwest through here, and I'm going to keep this rolling just so that anyone who's really new to the game doesn't get lost on the way here. It's really simple. It's not very far, but it just makes it a bit easier for everyone. Now, just as you get past here, you look over this hill and you'll be able to see the shroud down here, and we're just going to hop onto this little grass patch here, and then I'll just show you on the map where we are. So we're halfway between Long Keep and Rookmore. If you just glide down here and hug the mountain on the left hand side, you don't have to end up in the shroud. You just sort of pop into it and pop out. Nice and easy. Now just here on the right hand side, this is Rookmore. It's a kind of like enemy compound kind of thing, and these guys drop loads of metal scrap, and there's loads hidden in there as well, and I'm just going to show you the best way in. Now you can see here, this is the official entrance to the compound, and there's a few guys there. It's a little bit easier though to go in from this back entrance here, and you just drop down onto here, and there's a chap just around the other side of this tent, but he's ranged, so you can jump on him pretty quick. If you're early game, these guys are actually quite dangerous. I'm cutting through them quite quick, but they drop metal scraps. But respect these guys because they are pretty dangerous. There will be loot all the way through here. You'll find if you break these boxes, you pick up all sorts of metal scraps here. They're on all the tables. There's loads of loot in chests and things like that around here, so keep your eyes peeled. But the main place that you're going to be getting scrap from is these guys, these angry dudes with 2 weapons. They are pretty dangerous, so just shield them, wait for their animation to finish. Now you can attack, and then shield again. Wait for them to finish and kill them like that. It might take a long time, and just like I said, try not to take on more than 1 at a time, but they drop metal scraps. You can see that sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 2, and sometimes, like this dude, they can drop 5, which is pretty awesome. Now the thing most likely to kill you here is not actually the mobs, it is these barrels. Don't hit those barrels, they explode. This is a really fast way of getting wood logs as well, but I shoot those barrels because sometimes I just forget. Watch out for these as well. As soon as you take the loot from these, it will ignite and explode. That's killed me so many times. Watch out for those. Probably the other thing to look out for here is just on top of the castle to the left, you'll see him start firing. There's a ranged dude up on top of there. I wouldn't worry too much about him, but just be aware. And they're these nasty bear traps. They won't kill you on their own, but if there's a guy attacking you and you drop into one of those, he could kill you. Honestly, low-key the best way of getting wood logs as well. Aside from all the people and the boxes and tables, you can also go down into the dungeons here and get more loot. Watch out, because there are rats in these rooms, and they're really annoying. They don't do a lot of damage, but they're really aggressive and horrible things. They do take just pretty much 1 or 2 hits, but they're really nasty. You can pickaxe your way through these to find hidden chests and things like that. Also down in these spaces there is an anvil where you can repair all of your stuff without heading back to your house. But you can get some pretty good loot down here, especially if you just want to turn it all into runes. Make sure you smash everything up because it's just a really quick way of getting lots of wood logs. And the next way of getting metal scraps is more of a passive way of doing it as you're exploring the world. You will find all of these little metal objects that you can smash up and they will turn into metal scraps. You will see these cage things everywhere. They take just 3 hits each, and from these 2 you can get 6 metal scraps. So it's pretty good. You will see these everywhere, all around the map, and other metal objects. The trick really is just figuring out what's metal and what's not. Even stuff like this bed is made of metal, which surprised me, but yeah, 3 metal scraps. So if you listen to the sound, that's obviously wood because it sounds like wood. This isn't wood, it's stone. And then over here, this is metal, but this actually just takes ages to break and doesn't drop many scraps, so I gave up. But just passively look for these things all around the map and you will never run out of metal scraps. I really hope that helped. If it did, hit the like button. If you've got your own metal scrap gathering tips that I haven't covered in this video, leave them in the comments below so you can help everybody else out. Of course, subscribe for more Enshrouded tips, but most importantly, enjoy the game and take care.